Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. As I mentioned, you're in for a tremendous treat on the second set. We've been fortunate to work with one of the really outstanding tenor players in the world, and what an amazing teacher, what an amazing mentor for the students. We spent rehearsal time with him last night, and then this morning. Some of the band members spent time on the basketball court with him this morning, and it was, and he won actually all the games. There was no money exchange, so we're good, right? He didn't take us for any money, but we had a great time with him. He's just a wonderful person and a tremendous musician. A two-time Grammy nominee, most recently in the category of Best Instrumental Jazz Solo. On the album Casting for Gravity, and wonderful person, wonderful player. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Donny McCaslin. Donny McCaslin. Donny McCaslin. Patrick Wright on the guitar. Jordy Long on the drums. Jordy Long.
I thought I'd mention a couple things. First, it's really such a pleasure to be here. This is just a beautiful place. And Matt has made me feel incredibly welcome. You know, I got here and I had been like Edmonton, Missoula, Montana, Portland, Oregon, home, my son up through the night, train to Boston, concert, my son up again the next night, and then flew here. I was just like so tired, you know? And Matt was just wonderful. Had a great dinner the other night, and then it's been such a pleasure to work with y'all. You guys are wonderful people. So we've been having a great time, and it's what's unique about this is that we're playing tonight, of course, and then I'm coming back in about a month, and we're gonna record this music, and we're gonna play a gig at the Jazz Kitchen. So it's so, yeah, I know, it's so great to be able to have this kind of continuity, you know? Usually when I do a gig like this, it's like, you know, come in, rehearse, do the concert, and then it's over. And this way, it's like, it's great to just be able to dig deeper, you know, into the music and stuff. And just in the time we've had together yesterday, we had like 4 hours of rehearsal and a couple hours this morning. I feel like the music is growing so much, and you guys are all really raising your great game and stuff. It's just been, it's great. So anyway, I'm happy to be here. And I thought I'd mention that last tune. I grew up in Santa Cruz, California, and Tower of Power was a big group, you know. Yeah, man, I love me some Tower of Power. And I was fortunate enough to go hear them a couple times. You know, they're from the East Bay of California, and Santa Cruz is close, so I got to hear them a couple times in my hometown, and was so influenced by their music. You know, that funky, greasy, sassy kind of thing. I just love it. So that was my homage to Tower of Power. That was called Energy Generation. And the song we opened with, as Matt mentioned, it's called Be Love, and I wrote that a few years ago and recorded it on a record of mine called Soar, and it was basically, there's this amazing guitar player in New York. His name is Ben Monder. Patrick, do you know Ben Monder? Not personally. Okay. Well, let me tell you something about Ben Monder. So Ben is lucky enough to do a bunch of gigs with him over the years, and we were a long time together in Maria Schneider's band, and then he played in my band a lot. We did some records. So Ben looks like, you know Leonard Nimoy? Okay. And Ben has that stoic Leonard Nimoy kind of thing. Like the first time I met him, I moved to New York like 23 years ago. We played a session, and I was scared because he was so great, but also just looked so severe. You know what I mean? I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, can we just play? You know? But it turns out, you know, he's just the nicest guy, the sweetest guy, tender-hearted person. And where am I going with all this? Oh yeah, okay, this is it. So, you know, yeah, there's a point to all this. Now, part of what we do, as you can imagine, this requires so much dedication. You know, for all of us, I think we've probably all been moved in our hearts somehow by music in a way that's changed our lives and engaged us in this endeavor, you know, of being an artist and being an improviser and playing music, and you know, it's a crazy life, but dedication is a big part. And so, you know, my dad would tease me when I was a kid. My dad's a jazz musician, and I grew up playing in his group. And he would say, well, you know, when I was about 13 or 14, I started when I was 12, but he would say, you know, have you practiced for 7 hours today? And I was like, I know he's joking, but he might be kind of serious too, you know. And I couldn't really practice 7 hours a day because, you know, I was like a child. But I practiced more when I got into college and stuff. Anyway, practice is a big part of what we do, you know, day in and day out, working on it. So Ben, I'm getting to the point finally. Ben's like, yeah, I'm trying to practice for 24 hours straight. I'm like, what? I mean, how could 24 hours? Like, you know, 3 hours and I'm like done. You know, mentally, I'm just in the clouds. I'm barely, you know, the saxophone's physical, you know. And she's like, I'm trying to practice 24 hours, but I made it to 23. I'm like, wow. I mean, he plays guitar, so it's different. That's humbling, right? 23 hours of practice. He's got this long list. Anyway, so I was like, Ben, you need to lighten up. So I wrote that tune called Be Love. So he he doesn't need to lighten up, but he's, anyway. Okay, I'll stop talking now. But that's my Ben Monder story, and that's what was Be Love was inspired by. So we're going to continue now with an arrangement by a Butler student, Matt Karnstedt. Am I pronouncing Matt's name correctly? Okay. Matt arranged this great tune of Wayne Shorter's. Wayne Shorter is one of the iconic figures in jazz history as a composer. In fact, Matt had mentioned this Grammy I was nominated for, and I was not victorious. But Wayne Shorter was victorious. And I figured he would be. You know, he turned 80 this year, and I sat there, you know, in LA, and I was like, you know, this is beautiful. My life looks great. My brother-in-law, you know, this is really fun, but Wayne Shorter's going to win, because he's the man, and he did win. But I didn't feel so bad, because, you know, Wayne is the man. So anyway, this is an amazing song of his. It's beautiful, and it's called Infant Eyes. And again, the arrangement is by Matt Karnstedt.
Where's Matt? Matt Carnstead? Where's Matt? Oh, there he is. How about a hand for Matt Carnstead, the arranger, Butler grad from 2 years ago.
This next one is called, excuse me. Okay. You know, there's a lot of air in saxophone. Yeah, I had a piece of pizza downstairs. So. Anyway, this next one is called Fat Cat, and it's not because that we have a large cat in our apartment, but there's actually a club in New York that's a billiard hall / jazz club. So strange, yes. And initially it was really cool because it was like a room that was walled off for the jazz, and then there was this big room where they had like ping pong and air hockey and pool. Okay, it was nice. Then they tore down the wall. And so now it's just sort of, can you imagine, like you're trying to play a piece like that, sensitive ballad with space, and it's just like, you know, it's a cacophony of sound, you know. So I don't really play there anymore. But I did play there years ago when they had the wall and wrote this tune. Thank you. Okay, that was Jordy on drums. And Clint on congas. And Andy on piano. Woo! That was beautiful. We have one more piece for you tonight, and this is called Stadium Jazz, and there are CDs in the lobby if you're interested. I'm going to go out afterwards, and I'm happy to sign CDs, happy to say hello, even if you don't want a CD. I do root, I mean, look, my team is 49ers. What can I say? I grew up out there. But listen, I love the Colts, man. And seriously, I'm not just saying that. I've loved Peyton Manning, and then I was like, Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck went to Stanford, which is the college team I rooted for growing up in Santa Cruz. It's like, man, Andrew Luck, awesome. So, a great town, Indianapolis, with elite quarterbacking for maybe 3 decades. That's pretty amazing. Not that it's all about sports, because it's not. But we do enjoy our sports. Anyway, I'm sorry. But thank you guys so much for your hospitality. I really appreciate you coming and your support and your warmth. And again, what a hand for these wonderful musicians here. Thank you.
Just a couple brief acknowledgments before we play Stadium Jazz. I want to acknowledge Dean Ron Caltabiano, Associate Dean Michelle Jarvis, and the entire administrative staff of his office, especially Maren Ernest, someone who is behind the scenes that does a tremendous amount of work, and Janice Thornburg as well, preparing Arts Fest. So thank you very much for your support and for putting on such a fine event. Howard Schrott is also in the audience, and we are, thankful to have this wonderful venue, and he is, the primary reason why this is possible. So can we thank Mr. Schrott? He was out there. Thank you, Howard. He's a really nice guy. I ran into him at a gig, and he introduced himself to me, and I was being very respectful, Mr. Schrott, and he's like, call me Howard, so I'm going to call him Howard from now on. What a great guy. Yeah, my pleasure. Let's see. One other acknowledgement that's really important. I'm biased, of course, but the backbone of Arts Fest are a lot of our students that put on these fine productions in all different disciplines. They work really hard. Not only are they doing this, the performances, but they have, finals and papers just like everyone else. Rehearsals, coming to and from rehearsals, and they do an amazing job. And I want to acknowledge one person in particular who's playing his last jazz concert on the campus of Butler University. He's been in the band for 4 years, and I remember talking to him, more than 4 years ago now, and I had him play for me over the phone It might have been Skype. Was it Skype? It was Skype, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, an unbelievable lead trombone player and a great guy. Philip Jantz, he's a brilliant, brilliant person. He's actually going to the Denver area. He had a job lined up about a year ago in actuarial science. He's a double major in actuarial science and trombone performance, and he's been in the jazz ensemble for 4 years, and a tremendous person and a wonderful player. Can we give a big hand to Philip Jantz, who's playing his final concert? And I think that's it. I think we should play this final tune. So thank you so much for being here. Donny McCaslin. Donny McCaslin. Jordy Long on the drums. Jordy Long. And the band. Donny McCaslin. The band.